It's time to sip the coffee and spill the tea on Talking with 3D Live. Here's your host, Derrick Dixon.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Talking with 3D Live. I'm your host, Derrick Dixon, and this is where we always sip the coffee and spill the tea. And today we get to spill the tea with Jennifer Fortson is here in the studio, and we just got some different things we're going to be talking about, but I'm excited that she's here. So you better bring out your pen and paper because you may need to jot down some information, especially if you're buying a house or buying a home for the first time. We're going to be talking about that because here at Talking with 3D, we talk about everything. We want to make sure that everybody is diverse, prepared, and learning. So please make sure that you pay attention to this here episode. Tell a friend, sit down, because you need to learn this right now. But before we even get started, make sure that everybody is subscribed to Talking with 3D Live. Click it, love it, share it, do all those things. Make sure that everybody is tuned in. This is an iRose Film production. But today, it's all about Jennifer. And Jennifer is here. She's my girl. She's got a shoe collection like none other. So that's what the first connection is the shoe connection. So she then came in here today. She's looking beautiful. She had her red bottoms on. I had another outfit picked out. I had to go upstairs. I had to change my shoes, everything. Because Jennifer, she was not going to let me have it today.
We look good together now.
Yes. Welcome, Jennifer. Thank you for coming on Talking with 3D. I appreciate you. I want to tell the audience a little bit about you before we get started. Jennifer she's a team leader of a Fortitude Real Estate Team. As the founder of the Fortitude Real Estate Team, Jennifer has built results-driven organization focused on service, strategy, and long-term relationships. She's deeply committed to empowering families, guiding smart financial decisions through turning big goals into available and achievable outcomes. One home, one client, and one community at a time. Ladies and gentlemen, Jennifer Fortson. Thank you for joining me today.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so I'm just really excited especially to have this interview today because of the fact it's something different for me. It's something different that we haven't done yet on Talking with 3D. And in 2026, I think it's so important because we don't understand about purchasing homes, financial, risk, financial gain. So there's so much to learn about purchasing a home. And I read just a little bit, in 2026, home buying market is expected to be more balanced. The previous years categorized by slightly improved affordability, a slow rise in inventory, and then moderating price growth, mortgage rates anticipated in the 6% range. So just a little bit something that I, did my research on about. I've been in my home now for over 14 years.
Yes, so you don't have any idea what's going on out there.
So now I have no idea what is going on,
so much,
in the home market right now. Yeah. But before we even get into the home market, let's just talk a little bit about Jennifer. Who is Jennifer and how did Jennifer get started here in this world of realty, being a realtor? Because to me, that's really kind of a hard market.
Yeah.
It's a hard market to sell someone a home, their first home, something they're going to spend some time in, But tell us a little bit about who Jennifer is.
Well, it's very interesting. I ended up in real estate because I had no idea my whole life. I've only been doing it 7 years. And my whole background is sales, though. So I started in sales very young. I worked for Citibank. I was with them for 18 years. All sales almost the entire time, whether it was running sales teams, working on the compliance organization, managing call center activities, it was always sales. So when I left there, I felt a little lost because I wasn't doing sales and I went into running some medical practices. It was not for me. Nobody was letting me sell anything to anybody. And so I loved that concept of being able to help people. So I left there, went and did some outdoor sales. I sold forklifts.
Forklifts?
Which was very interesting because can you imagine these hills and those warehouses?
Selling forklifts.
Yeah,
Because
that was
I'm serious. If you came in and you got on your red bottoms, you got on
Yeah.
your sleek
Yeah.
blue dress, and this, she gonna sell me a forklift?
Yeah. Well, that did work to my advantage sometimes now,
Right.
too, so,
They're like, give me two.
Yeah, right.
Give me two of those.
It did work sometimes, yeah. And then I went into property management, and I couldn't evict people. I worked with the homeless in Jefferson County for a little while, and I could not evict people. Well, imagine upper management if somebody's not paying their rent and you can't evict them. That job didn't go real well.
Yeah.
So when I left there, one of my really good friends said, have you ever considered real estate? You love people, you love making sure people have houses. I think that housing people is the number one thing that we should care for outside of food is shelter. We're called to it biblically, but we have so many people who don't have any place to live. And so I was like, I'll give it a try. I have an entrepreneur mindset, so I figure I can do pretty much whatever I decide that I want to do. Fell in love.
Wow.
And been doing it ever since.
Yeah. And a lot of people, you always hear, going to get their realtor license. People have always said to me, oh, go get your realtor license. But you have to have that passion for it. You can't just go get a realtor license and think you're just going to sell a home like that.
They say 95% of people who get their license never sell a house.
Really?
Yeah, it's very high statistic.
And why is that?
Probably because of what you said. I think a lot of people think we unlock a door, we walk people around like Vanna, like, oh, here's this lovely door. And that's not what we do. So when you get out into the real world and realize that there's so much to it, you have to be able to negotiate. You have to be able to sell. You have to have your client's best interest in mind. You have to have those passions. If you don't and you think you're just going to make a check from this, it's not, those two things can't connect together if you want to be really good in this industry. You have some people that'll come out and sell a couple houses, but for the most part, people will get into it and then they'll say, oh, it just didn't work out for me. And it's because you came into it thinking that literally all we do is show a house. We don't make the type of money we make because we unlock the front door.
Right.
I mean, that's the reality of it. Anything worth having is worth working for. And I think some people come into it with that mentality of this is going to be an easy way for me to make some money. And that's not how this world works.
That's not it. So
Any part of this world doesn't work like that.
Exactly.
You gotta work for it.
So, I bought my home, but for the person that is looking to purchase a home, what is the key consideration for purchasing a home?
It matters who you partner with.
Okay.
Because I do tell people all the time, you can come to me with your credit score in the 400 and be the first person in your house, the first person in your family who wants to purchase a home. Generational curse breaking is something that I am determined that I will be able to help people do. I don't care if your parents owned, I don't care if your grandparents owned, I don't care who owned in your family. If you show up, I don't care if you've been in jail, I don't care what your story is. If you want to buy a house, we are going to figure out how to make that happen. Now, it could take a while because there's job history length that you have to have, credit scores that you have to have. There's pieces to it. But if you're at home trying to figure this out by yourself, and we get that all the time, they're like, oh, I've been working on improving my credit. What do you know about that process?
Right.
What are you doing to actually improve your credit score? But if you show up to me, and that's not my role, my lenders are the ones that do that, but all of my lenders get in the trenches and we work, the three of us or the four of us, if there's two, a husband and a wife, we're all in this together. So you make the first step, you pick up the phone, you have the conversation, you send the inbox message, but you send it to the right person, a person who cares about the fact that you're going to actually be able to purchase your home. My clients aren't numbers to me. Most of them become my friends. Most of them are on my Facebook. Most of them are going to have to watch this video whenever it comes out because I'm going to send it to them.
I know that's right, because you're all going to be watching this, right?
I was already on there today talking to
This is going to be your tutorial now. Before you purchase a home, I need you to sit down and watch,
I need you
watch
to take
this.
a look at this.
Right.
But it's because I genuinely love people and helping people. And I think that that is the thing that'll make the difference. Now, if you want to go real strategic, obviously credit score, but we're not taught about that. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I was in school, we didn't even talk about credit.
We are not taught about it. And when you said break generational curses, it sparked something in me. It triggered me because my mother did not purchase her first home until she was well into her 40s.
Yeah.
So we were renters all of our lives. Well, I can't say all of our lives, but up until her 40s, she purchased her first home. And then I realized when I got into like my 30s, I'm like, I have to break this.
Yeah.
Because we cannot wait to get into our 30s, our 40s and 50s to purchase our first one. Now you can.
Right. You can.
You can.
Right.
But, I want my children and their children to be able to say, we can do this.
Yes.
Today's episode of Talking with 3D Live is brought to you by iRose Films. iRose Films photo booth will capture every special event, from birthday parties, weddings, baby showers. They also specialize in 360 booths, also videography. So please make sure that anytime that you have a special event, contact iRose Films, irosefilms.com. We can do this
because Dad did it.
Because Dad did it.
And that is the thing that you hear so many people talk about, is that they don't, and homeownership isn't for everybody. And that has to be part of the conversation that we have. Like, are you comfortable with the kind of repairs that are going to come up? As a homeowner, how many times did you not want that to break and realize, or if it did after you became a homeowner, you're like, I don't even got a landlord to call. Like, I am now responsible.
I don't, right. And let me tell you something, Jennifer. Let me tell you what the biggest thing for me was. Cutting grass.
Oh, yeah.
I have to now cut my own grass.
Yeah.
I now have to shovel my sidewalk so I don't get a fine. Somebody slip and fall out there. Now I'm in trouble.
Yep.
So there's so much more.
To then I just handed you the keys.
Thank you.
And that's why that journey through it is so important, because in 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, especially if you're buying your first house, if you don't buy the one that's perfect for you. So we have what I call the COVID buyers. The people that ran out because the rates were so low, they purchased homes that didn't actually work for their family. A lot of times they were in bidding wars, so they went a little crazy with what they paid to get that house that they actually didn't love, because it became an I'm gonna win this mentality. Now they're sitting in those houses where 5 years, 6 years later, interest rates are really, really good at 2%. Some people buy 2.5, 2.4. We're never going, well, let me never say never in real estate. The chances of us going back down to that type of an interest rate are very low.
Yeah.
So when we're at the 6% and you have people sitting at 2.4, 2.5, that group of people that should be now selling, they don't actually love their homes. They didn't love them when they bought them, and they've already outgrown them. They don't want to sell because they can't compete with that really low interest rate. But what they're missing is they have an enormous amount of equity. So they're not having those conversations. They're not sitting down with us to say, yes, you're right. You're going to give 2.5% up, and you can hold on to that for dear life.
Right.
But you're sitting on $100,000 worth of equity.
Yeah. But
what do you want to do with that?
But Jennifer, just like you were saying, though, we haven't been educated.
No.
I have a 3%.
Yeah, you don't want to sell.
I don't want to sell.
Right. But now you
and
run
then
a
I have
business.
people calling me saying, "Oh, we can lower your interest rate to 1."
Yeah.
I mean, what you going to lower to?
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting on it.
Yes.
I'm not going to move from there.
But
we're not
other
educated.
options. You have other options too. Like, what a lot of people don't realize too is, like, you now run a business out of your house. 14 years ago, when you bought this house, that wasn't the case, right? You were still with the airline.
Right.
So this house served the purpose for where you were at that point in your life. Even if you reach out and have a conversation with me, it's not always about, I need to get your house sold. It is what is best for you. You're normally looking at 3 different options. What options work for you? Because that's my role. So maybe it isn't to sell. Maybe it's to refinance. Maybe it's to take out a home equity line of credit because you want to add an addition, or you want to do something to your property. I get to listen to you tell me what your goal is, and then I figure out where we can fit in that goal. People don't call us sometimes because we get a used salesman concept. People think of us sometimes like, oh, we just want to sell, we want to sell, we want to sell your house. That's not my end game for you. I am called into this role in my life because land is an inheritance that is ours and belongs to us. Land is mentioned over 2,000 times in the Bible. If you want to do what you want to do with your land, my only assignment is to make sure you do it.
Right.
I don't have to tell you what that looks like. I don't have to live in the house after you buy it. And I'm not going to make your mortgage payment for you.
Right, right.
I bet if you called your realtor 14 years later, even at that 3%, they ain't making that mortgage payment.
Yeah.
And that's where people get it all confused. You may have a realtor that you dealt with in the past that had a different type of mindset. Seek those of us out that are actually in it to help our clients win. It's not about the dollar signs for all of us. I can't speak for everybody. I know why I'm here. And so if you came to me and said, I have a 3%, what can I do?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not the money person. Their job's way more boring than mine. They have to crunch numbers and do it. And I
Right.
tell them that all the time. Their job is way more boring than mine. But I can listen to you talk it through so that when you go talk to them, you know what the options you have as a homeowner.
Right.
I may not know what the dollars look like, but I would at least be able to help you figure that out. People don't think of us that way, and we don't get a chance to have those conversations on a 2-second video where we're like, call us real quick. I can't say all those things to them. I can't tell them, I'm not here to just sell your house. You have kids that are going to go to college. Well, we hope, or maybe start a business as an entrepreneur. I'm not a huge college person, but we won't talk about that on the podcast. But start a business. You may decide you want to pull equity in your property to help them do some of those things. Do you know what those options look like? Do you know what you've worked so hard in the last 14 years to build? Because most people don't know how to use that to their advantage. They think of home ownership and that mortgage payment, but they forget about the fact that it's an asset.
And you get scared about it.
You do.
Because you don't want to lose anything. And then I'm like, oh, I don't want to mess stuff up. So again, you're going to have to be sitting down watching this because this is going to teach you a lot. I want to tell you a funny story real quick. And because I have so many more questions to ask you. When I bought this home, my realtor, never met him. He was coming over to where I was living at. I was renting a space. And he came and he got him and his wife, they got out of the car and he was holding his seeing cane.
Okay.
So completely blind. And my first thing was, how is this man going to show me some homes?
Yeah.
Well, when I tell you, he would take that stick and kink, ding, ding. Oh, this needs to be fixed. Ding, ding, ding. Oh,
That would take a special skill set.
He had a special skill that I never seen in my life.
No, me neither. I've never seen anybody do it like that. And he had a passion for what he did.
Yes.
Because this would not be an easy industry to be in, like if you were up against it.
And people were calling him, God rest his soul, he's not living anymore, but people would call him to sell a home.
Yeah.
But we'll keep on moving. Can you explain, because right now, a lot of people think, credit. When I bought my home, I thought to the fact where I paid everything cash. I bought a car, I paid cash for it. I had I had one credit card, never used it, or if I did, I'd buy something, pay cash for it. So I'm thinking to myself, because I've paid for it, oh, you can see that I've paid for it. And they're like, but we can't see that you can make payments.
Yeah.
Again, education is key.
Yeah.
Education is knowledge. What is the difference between an FHA loan and a conventional loan? Is that where you get into?
I don't get into it a whole lot as far as like what your credit scores have to be. And that's really the lenders will talk that through.
Okay.
For us, where we're normally looking at it is, so as first-time home buyers, there are different programs and stuff that are out there. There's different options. Even one that I don't know around here if they talk about quite as much is a USDA loan,
Right.
which is the no money down loan. And then of course you have FHA and then you have your conventional loans. There's credit criteria that goes behind it. A lot of people think that being conventional, like having what used to be, I have primo credit, so I'm going to be conventional. Believe it or not, there's been a long period of time where going FHA is actually more beneficial sometimes than going conventional, because it's not always just about where the rate is at. It's also about the lender that you're working with. What are they offering? What are they capable of doing within the parameters of those programs? So where we look at it more so is, where is your actual credit score number? What surprises me a lot of times is people think, one, their credit scores need to be in the 700s and 800s. That's not true. We have programs as low as 580, which throws people completely off the grid. They're like, you can buy a house when your credit is 580. Yes, you can. We have programs that don't involve credit, which is, like I said, it's not my industry, but when we're talking to our clients, we can have that conversation. So people will be like, oh, my credit's really bad. I'm like, okay, when did you look at it last? And they're like, well, I've never really looked at it. I just know that it's bad. Or I looked at Credit Karma, which, I mean, you don't want to necessarily only go by that. So whenever they're saying that, they're thinking that. The other misconception is they think they have to have 20% down. When I talk to people, they're like, well, I have to save a bunch of money. Okay, Now, you and I need to be very honest. If you're in your 40s and you haven't saved $10,000 your whole entire life, why are you going to save it next year?
Right.
That's not realistic. We have to have realistic conversations with people. We have programs to help you get your money down. We have options available to you to cover closing costs, down payments, and all of that. But when people say to me, well, I'm going to work on saving that money, unless your job or something you're doing is drastically going to put that type of money into your pocket, you're not going to have $20,000 next year any more than you did this year.
Right.
But we need to talk about that, and we need to not make it the elephant in the room. Everybody wants to think that everybody has great credit, and everybody wants to think that everybody has a bunch of money saved up,
Right.
or that they've got a family member just dying to give them $20,000.
Right.
I don't know about you, but I don't have
Right.
that. And when I went to buy my house this time, after my divorce, my credit had been ruined. I've been through bankruptcies. I've been through foreclosures. I lived in my car for a period of time.
Wow.
We can have a real conversation. You don't have to come into here feeling bad because you're like, well, I'm an adult, so I should have great credit. Why?
Yeah, that's true.
Why would that be the case?
Yeah.
No one ever taught you how to do it. No one taught you that if you carry only like 30% on your credit card, it looks better than paying it off. Because you're out here thinking you're doing it exactly the right way, and nobody ever told you it's just as hard if you don't have credit as if you have bad credit because you weren't making any payments. They can't see that. But you're like, okay, but I own everything.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, but we don't care.
Yeah. And that's it. That's it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you own 3 cars.
Proud of you, but
Yeah.
proud of you because you can't give
Yeah.
it alone. So I think that's where the conversations have to start. We have to make it comfortable for people to want to have real conversations with us and to not be afraid they'll be judged, because maybe you did lose your job for a period of time, or maybe you had to make a decision on not paying a certain bill because your kids needed something. And now you're looking at your credit and you're like, I really want to buy a house, but my credit's down here. We can put a plan in place, 60, 90, 2 years if it takes that long. But if you don't start, you're never going to get there. And that's the miss that people normally have. If you start, we will get there. If you don't start, I can't help you get there.
Wow. I want to ask you some more on the personal side of being a realtor. If you weren't a realtor, what would be your career path?
Is sugar daddy? Buy me a rich
What do
man.
you want? What?
I said, what's in the field? Like, what are you talking about? So I actually don't know. I've always done sales, so I imagine it would probably be somewhere in the sales industry. I've led teams, but if I could go do anything I wanted to do, I would be a motivational speaker to empower women.
I can see that.
I would definitely be, I have a very strong passion for women empowerment and being able to help people start businesses, or because a lot of times it's not a skill set, it's a mindset. We don't believe in ourselves, so we don't think we can go do it. So that's probably what I would spend.
And
I
does
don't know
that
where my money would come from. I don't think anybody's going to pay me yet to come.
Oh no, they would pay you because you're a very good.
have a
You're a very good
conversation.
speaker, so I could see that. But does that
goals.
come from past where that you want to now give back to women?
Well, it does. It actually does, and I've been through quite a few things, and I do feel like even from a corporate structure, being a female in an industry, you know, where the further you went up the corporate ladder, it was a lot more male dominant.
Yeah.
So you teach yourself behaviors like you don't cry in a meeting, you drink water so that you don't cry. Like those type of things to have to adapt to as a woman to survive into a man's world on its own. And then, you know, I'm divorced and I've got a lot to my story. So I feel like I could help women empower themselves to understand it doesn't really matter what you've been through. If you want to do it, you can go for it. But you have to have the right people in your circle.
Yes.
And that is what a lot of people miss. It's that you go tell somebody and that wasn't the person that was going to help you get there.
And you have to have the right people, and you have to have the right people that understand your passion.
Yes.
Because a lot of times you get people that are in your circle, but they want to destroy your passion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Or your passion doesn't make sense. And believe it or not,
yes.
that happens a lot with homeownership. Someone will go say to a family member, I want to buy a house. And they're like, well, you shouldn't be buying a house.
Yes.
You won't buy it. There's no reason. Like, you don't make enough money. You shouldn't own a home. It's because they don't own a home.
Yeah.
So they're projecting what they didn't accomplish on you. And it's young kids especially. We have an entire generation scared to death to buy a house. They lived through 2007 and 2008 where the housing market crashed. their parents were crying over losing homes and all the craziness that was happening when the market crashed. Now imagine being a child at that time, watching, that's the exact opposite of the goal from homeownership. Your parents' house is being taken from them. So those kids are looking at it like, oh no, we do not want to get into this at all. So they now go have those conversations with people around them, and that was the experience during that time frame. So many people are like, yeah, no, housing is like, it's so, even if you own your home, you could lose your home, and that's scary to people.
Yeah, that is
It's scary
scary.
that the bank could just show up and take your house from
Yeah.
you. So I think that that is the biggest thing that people worry about is, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to own this. And when you bought your house, that's the biggest loan you've probably taken out.
Yes.
I say that to
It's
people.
and that number is scary.
Oh, then they hand you the one for like 30 years. You're going to make your payment.
Yeah.
You're looking at that and you're like,
Right.
oh my God.
Yeah.
It is scary. And that's why I like to tell people, you live in your first home from anywhere from 3 to 5 years. That's statistic. You've been in yours for a while. You're holding on to that 3%
Right.
interest rate. You refied during COVID, didn't you?
Right.
That's what you did. Yeah. You're like, yeah, I'm not getting rid of that rate.
Yeah.
But most people, if you don't have that kind of an interest rate, they stay 3 to 5 years, 3 to 7 years. So when we go out, that's the conversation we have. Don't imagine raising your grandkids in this house.
Right.
You
Oh,
just
no.
need to figure out how to get through the
Because
next
I'm
2
already
to
looking.
5
I
years.
think we were, me and my boys, we were looking at homes yesterday.
Everybody's looking all the time.
And I'm like, okay, I need this type of home now, and I want this many bedrooms, and I want this. So, yes.
And that's what makes my industry fun, because you're not talking to anybody about doing that, but you're already doing it. Everybody, whether they talk about it or not, they look on Zillow, they peek around at what's out
Yes.
there, you look at what your property might be worth. So all we're asking for as agents is you're starting to peek around a little bit, have the conversation with us so we can help guide you. Because just like I couldn't have walked onto your job when you were with the airlines and done your job, why would you expect yourself to be a great real estate agent? You've never,
Exactly.
you bought this house.
One
Like,
home.
sure.
And still, and I still don't know what I did.
Right.
I
You
just
kept
kept
signing
I just kept
paperwork.
signing papers. I'm like, they told me you're gonna be here for about 8 hours. I'm like going, all right, here we
You're
go.
signing your life away.
I want to ask you this: if how do you keep yourself, Jennifer? How do you keep yourself safe when you go to a home, you meet strangers,
Yeah.
and you know, is this real?
Yeah.
Is this person really interested? You know, and especially for a female,
Yeah.
you're going by yourself. How do you find the safety in that? And how do we
The blood of
encourage
Jesus.
people?
No, just kidding.
Right. Carrying the blood. I know that's right.
Keep going with me. No.
Right.
No. So I do run a team, and I have a team of predominantly guys, and I don't take a lot of meetings with people I don't know. Usually there's a connection between me and the person that I'm taking out. So I don't really run like a lot of Zillow leads. I have a massive network, and my network is
Okay.
amazing. So my network does a lot of referring, either past clients or friends of mine. If we get a sign call, which is what normally will come in, I will usually have one of the guys go with me. Andre's 6'7" on my team. He doesn't walk into a room lightly. So if you came into that room, you would probably be like, okay, I probably need to make a different decision. Same with open houses. I don't run them by myself. I either have a lender there with me or one of my team members goes with me. There's safety in numbers. When I worry the most, though, is when I off-road. So I call myself the off-road realtor. So I'm licensed in 4 states, and I'm always in the mountains. So I go periods of time with no cell phone service. That is normally when I get the most concerned, because if something were to happen, nobody would know even where I was. Like you couldn't
Right.
probably satellite in to find me. I had a little tracker on me. I don't know, but you can't find me. That's probably when I worry the most. I keep telling everybody I'm going to go learn how to shoot a gun or maybe carry something, but I don't really see myself doing that. I try to use the energy I feel, because I'm a big energy person. I have been in situations where I was concerned about it, but I'm quick. Like we keep ourselves between the door and the individual
Okay.
in case we would need to exit. And if we're really concerned, we have safety measures that we can text or message to. Like we have people that'll know, hey, you know, I just alerted that I'm at this area. We have stuff on our lock boxes that'll let people know, you know, like, hey, we're here. We can let our broker know that we're going to be going out to some place that we're concerned about. At the end of the day, though, if I got out there and there was a situation that happened, nobody's getting to us very quickly anyways. So my brother's a detective, and he's always like, I should really learn to protect myself. But
Right.
you think I'm joking. I'm about to, the blood of Jesus, we're going to start praying, because at the end of the day, that's probably the only way I'm getting out of this situation.
Yeah.
It is scary though. And you hear the stories on the news in different areas, people who, have been at open houses, and because that's, we broadcast where we are. We
Right.
drive up in nice vehicles. We're out
Right.
here advertising that we're going to be at this property from 2 to 4. The door is unlocked. You can just come in. And so those are the ones that I always take somebody with me. I think there's safety in numbers. I could be wrong.
And are y'all trained as far as like, do you have some type of training to protect yourselves?
You can, like, our broker has offered stuff like where we could go take safety classes, like to protect ourselves. People could do that. I would say you would find the majority of realtors out there. Well, I'm licensed in West Virginia, right?
Right.
They're carrying.
I got you.
Yeah. Like, I'm being on, like, it's a, yeah. I'm in Maryland right now, so I'm very careful with that conversation, because it looks very different here. But in the state of West Virginia, I don't care if you're sitting in church, there's a chance that person is protecting themselves. So it's looked at very differently there. So I think too, it's probably, but being licensed in 4 states, I'm in Virginia sometimes, I'm in Pennsylvania sometimes, I'm in Maryland sometimes. All of those are different, but I think you would find a lot of your agents probably have licenses to carry.
Okay.
Not that I'm pro or against. I don't want a political conversation. I'm just saying.
What was the most memorable experience working with a client that made the job feel worth it?
Oh my God, I have so many. Wow. Well, I have to know. I mean, if they're all watching, I can't tell them all. I mean, they've all been. I would say that one of my most memorable was a client of mine that had been on Section 8 housing, that really wanted to buy a house for her and her daughter. She bought her first house, and then she was actually able to, it was a townhouse, and she was able to sell that townhouse, and now she lives in a single family home with her significant other and their 3 kids. So she went from Section 8 housing, where I don't think I'll ever be able to own a home. And I'm not talking about she was off of it. I'm talking about that's where she was, saying to me, I want to buy a house for my daughter. I want to show my daughter that a woman can do this, and I can do it by myself. I'm so proud of her to this day. I'm not going to drop her name. She's in know who I'm talking about. Literally, that was probably one of the best stories, because a lot of people think that their circumstances will prevent them from being able to become homeowners. And I say, send me the challenge, because I've never met a problem I cannot solve. So we're going to figure out how to do this. So I think that that's probably one of my favorite stories. I've got some rough ones though too. I mean, like, it's not, and I think back to what you said, that's the problem when people come in. It sounds like we get these amazing opportunities. I have had people not like me at the end of the deal.
I bet.
I mean, it's just, you don't always win. I've had people decide not to work with me because I'm a lot. I'm a lot of personality. So like,
and you didn't want to tell the person's name of the story that you just told, but just whisper it to me. Go ahead, just whisper.
Her name's Gabby. Okay. She'll kill me, and she's actually one of my really good friends. So, and she will watch. I know.
Listen, because we have to get going. What's the best advice you can give to a new agent that wants to come in and be a realtor and really be successful in what they do? Look in that camera and give them the best advice you can give them.
It matters who you work with. Once you get your license, there is nobody showing up to help you be successful. If you're not with the right team, the right mentor, or the right broker, you will not win in this industry. If you are not getting the support that you need to find somebody, watch them, see what it is they're doing, and see if that would work for you, and have a conversation with them, because you cannot win as an island in this industry, which is what they push us out into the realtor world as. They give us our license, they push us on our way, and they hope we win. You have to have the right network, and you have to have the right connections.
So the right connections, the right network, but you can do it.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
You can do it. You can do it.
Yeah.
Jennifer, you have taught us within this 30 minutes so much. And when I tell you, again, I hope someone takes this and learns from it. And we have to keep educating.
Yes.
We have to keep making sure that people are aware. We have to make sure that, our realtors safe. We've got to talk more about those type of things as well. But I appreciate you coming on Talking with 3D Live.
It was so much fun.
I've learned, something that even though I bought a house, there's so much stuff I didn't know. All I did was sign the papers, and you have to be knowledgeable before you even sign those papers. Because a lot of times you haven't read the fine print and you don't know what you've gotten yourself into.
Oh yeah, no, nobody reads that.
Yeah, we don't read it. We just were told where to
Don't do it
sign.
buy a car either.
Yeah. We just get the keys and go. So listen, again, thank you.
Yes.
I
Well,
appreciate
thank you for having me. This was awesome, and you're amazing. I love the
you.
energy in here. It was phenomenal. I had so much fun. I'll come back anytime and talk about homeownership.
Yes.
My team says I won't shut up about it. So if you ever want to talk again,
Well, you are, I'm telling you right now, you are welcome back, because we've got to keep the momentum going, and we've got to make sure that people are out there that are educated. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to Talking with 3D Live. Again, I'm your host, Derrick Dixon, and this is where we always sip the coffee and spill the tea. And we spilled a lot of tea today, so please take it, drink it up, and absorb it, and go out there and purchase your first home. If you're in West Virginia, this is your girl, Jennifer Fortson.
Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Virginia too.
Yes, that's where she's at. So please go out there and check her out. And we'll make sure that we put up some information so people can contact you. So go out, love somebody intentionally, and we'll see you next time, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, every Tuesday right here. This is an iRose Film production. Peace.